Wow, what an amazing playoffs we have and are witnessing like right now. I think this playoff runs have been like super interesting and cool because look at the teams that we have in the conference finals. We have Dallas, we have Minnesota, we have Indiana, and we have Boston, who's always been in there the past 6 years or something like that. But this is like really cool to see because we have a 22-year-old leading his team to the conference finals with Anthony Edwards. But I want to give you my predictions and what I'm thinking like about each series. Well, there's only 2 rounds, but each series and who will be moving on to the NBA finals. Let's start off in the East because I think this is going to be the easier series to talk about and choose the winner from. I mean, it's probably going to be Boston, but Indiana. How they got to the conference finals was amazing. I mean, if you were at the start of the playoffs before any of the games started, and somebody told you or me that Indiana's going to make the conference finals, I would have said no, they're not. They're probably going to be first or second round exits. I don't see them getting past New York. I don't see them getting past Philadelphia or anything like that. But here we are. Indiana's in the conference finals. I mean, they went through some injured teams. The Bucks, they didn't have Giannis. Dame was injured some of the games. And look at the Knicks. They were missing like 7 players. Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Bojan Bogdanovic, Josh Hart in an abdominal strain in Game 6. He got it in Game 6 and was struggling in Game 7. You could just see it. OG Anunoby, he was dealing with some injuries a lot of the series and a lot of the playoffs too. And he came back, or tried to come back Game 7, and he just couldn't do it. He left like 4 or 5 minutes into the game. And then the worst one, or one of the worst ones, I mean, they've had a lot of bad injuries, but Jalen Brunson, he fractured or broke his hand or something like that. And that's horrible. I have to give all the credit to the New York Knicks. They had a phenomenal season, a phenomenal playoffs. I give you all the credit you deserve. Same with Indiana. I'm not just saying, oh, you went through injured teams. They were playing amazing. This team is good. They surprised me, but I'm not just saying, oh, you went through injured teams. You had a light path to the conference finals. Whatever. No. Knicks were it was a super good series, and it was super fun to watch. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Game 7, even though Indiana won by 21 points. It was 131-09. But I don't know. I enjoyed the series. Went to a Game 7, of course. But yeah, New York played incredible. The incredible season, incredible playoffs. Jalen Brunson is a superstar. He's the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. He's a top whatever point guard you want to say. He's amazing. And this team, I'm really excited for what they're doing and what they will do next season and whatever else. But let's talk about the conference finals. Boston, they kind of had a light path to the... Yeah, you could definitely say it was a lighter path to the conference finals. First round, they go up against the Miami Heat without Jimmy Butler, so yeah, it wasn't going to be a super tough series. They lost Game 2, but Miami just shot the lights out and was hitting every single three. But, I don't know. That's not an excuse for Boston to lose. They beat them in 5. And then they go into Cleveland. They beat Cleveland in 5. It was definitely a harder series, I guess, but Boston still took them out in 5 games. Cleveland took Game 2. I'm forgetting what happened in that game. But yeah, they took Game 2, and then the rest, there were some closer games, but yeah, they still made it out in 5. And now we're into the conference finals. I'm pretty sure all of you guys can agree with me when I say this. Boston is making it out of this. They're going to be in the NBA Finals this year. As much as people don't want it to happen or whatever, I'm sure people want it to happen, or there's probably going to be a good amount of people that don't want it to happen or don't want to see it because it's Boston or whatever. Personally, I like every single one of the teams that have been in the playoffs this year. I don't mind if Boston wins. I don't mind if Indiana wins. I don't mind if Luka wins. I'll be happy for whoever wins the NBA championship. I'm not like a Boston hater. I'm not like a Luka hater or whatever. But I don't know. I would like to see Anthony Edwards in, but I'm going to talk about the Minnesota series in a little bit. Let's just talk about the Indiana-Boston one. So Kristaps is going to be out for the first couple of the games, whether it's going to be 2 or 3 or however many. He's going to be out for the first few. Does that give Indiana a super amazing advantage for them to win games? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I mean, it increases their chances by a little bit, but still, that doesn't mean they're... Oh, now they're the favorites to win just because Kristaps is out. Because look at this team. They still have Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, and the rest of the team, which is an amazing team. I mean, they won, what, 60-something games or something like that? Yeah, they were amazing. But my prediction for this is Boston's going to take it in 5. I would like to see it go to 6. I don't think it's going to go to 7 at all. My prediction is Boston in 5 or 6. I'll make an official prediction once. I'll have to think about it, but it's going to be... I mean, I'll have to think fast, but it's going to be Boston in 5 or 6. As much as I would like to see an amazing series, Boston is just so much better. I think they're just going to dominate them, whether it's just, of course, we saw... we know the struggles of the... Not struggles, I guess the biggest weakness of Indiana, or one of their bigger weaknesses, I guess, is their rebounding. And New York has so much, like, better rebounding, whether it's Isaiah Hartenstein. They didn't have Mitchell Robinson. They're just a better rebounding team. And I'm sure you're going to see that again with Boston. They're going to be a lot better on the glass. I mean, they're still going to be good on the glass, but it's just Boston's so much better. And they're healthy. They're the most healthy team in Indiana's going to be facing this entire playoff run. I mean, look. You have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday, and everybody else. Once Kristaps comes back, I think it's going to be pretty... You guys can agree with me. It's going to be Boston in 5 or 6. I want to see Indiana put up a good fight. Maybe take a game or two. Maybe put it Game 7. But if we're being realistic, it's going to be Boston in 5. Maybe there's a small chance it goes to 6 games, but it's probably going to be 5, maybe 6. And so Boston moves on to the NBA Finals. That's my prediction for the East. I don't know if I want to go super in depth. I just want to give you my predictions and what I think. But I want to talk more about the Minnesota Timberwolves versus Dallas Mavericks. So I find this awesome. I find this is going to be a super amazing series. I wanted to save this for the end of the video, or I guess the second half. This is going to be an awesome series. So yesterday we saw Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns and the rest of the Timberwolves team win against the defending champions, the Denver Nuggets. They won by how many points? It was close. It went down to the final minutes. And we've been waiting for a game between... Let's go back to talking about Minnesota versus Denver. First 2 games were blowouts by Timberwolves. They destroyed them. And then it goes to Denver. They beat them by a lot of points. Blowouts. Now it's tied 2-2. And then Game 6, it's probably a bigger win by, what, Minnesota? It's bigger win by Denver, I'm pretty sure, because they went up 3-2. Minnesota comes back. It's not really it's a 45-point victory by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now we go to Game 7. It's a big lead by Minnesota now, but the Nuggets come out. They cut the lead. I think they cut a 20-point lead or something like that, which was like the biggest cut lead in Game 7 history or something like that. But they came back, and it was close. I'm forgetting what the score is. I'm recording this the day after because I just wanted to gather all of my thoughts and what's going on just the day after, and I didn't want to be recording this at 12 o'clock at night last night. So they won last night 98 to 90. This was super fun. It was down to the last minute. Rudy Gobert, you see that the whatever fadeaway from him? That was probably the dagger to seal the game. But yeah, this was down to the last minute. I remember, like, I watched the Indiana game, but not the Minnesota game. I just didn't watch the Minnesota game. But there was the dagger from Rudy Gobert, the fadeaway. That definitely sealed it. And then I think there was also a Karl-Anthony Towns putback dunk that was also just like, yeah, it's pretty much over. But yeah, that was a really exciting game. It was the closest game we got in the entire series. But let's actually move on to Dallas. Dallas. They have Luka Doncic. They have Kyrie Irving. They have Derrick Jones Jr., who I really liked. I'm a Bulls fan. We had him last season. I really enjoyed him on the team, and he's gotten a lot better. And he's going to be wanting some money this offseason. At least a little bit. He deserves some. After this season, he played really good. But let's actually talk about the whole team as a whole. So, Dallas. Dallas is interesting. I think this series is probably going to go to 6 or 7. I'm sure I think it's going to go to 6 or 7. But I think it's going to be... I want Minnesota to win. I think Minnesota has a higher chance of winning because that defense is just amazing. And the double big lineup is definitely going to has the little bit of advantage over Luka and Kyrie and the rest of the bigs on that team. Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. I think that double big lineup is definitely going to switch things up over and cause a little bit of maybe stress, I guess. Or I don't know. I don't know what to call it, but I think it's going to not be... It's going to be a little more difficult to handle for the Dallas Mavericks. But, yeah, Dallas, Luka has been, I think, he's been playing good. I mean, he's had good games. But he's also, like, hasn't been fully healthy, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he has something going on with his knee. One of his knees, I'm pretty sure. He hasn't been fully 100%. But they're in the conference finals now. Let's just talk about the matchup. So, defensively, the Nuggets aren't really going to be going up against a Jokic. I mean, they kind of are in Luka Doncic. But I think they'll be able to guard this a lot more effectively. Or guard Luka a lot more effectively because they'll be able to throw a lot more different types of defenders at him. Whether it's Anthony Edwards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jaden McDaniels, or whoever. I think they'll be able to handle Luka a little bit better than they will with Jokic. I think that's just my opinion. You could definitely say I'm wrong anytime you want. I want to hear your opinions in the comments below. But personally, I think Minnesota will be able to handle Luka and Kyrie just a little bit more or more effectively than Jokic. I think that'll just be like the reason that Minnesota takes this takes the advantage, plus the double big lineup, and just their defense in general is just amazing. And they have Anthony Edwards, who's just phenomenal this entire playoffs run. I know last Game 7, he didn't have the most amazing offensive night. I mean, he didn't shoot super good, but he was playing some incredible defense on Jamal Murray in that second half. Based off what I saw, I went back and watched some highlights. Anthony Edwards was playing amazing defense in that second half. He didn't have the most amazing offensive night, but Anthony Edwards is just amazing, and I think it's going to go to 6 or 7. I think Minnesota will be taking this. I'm completely, I'm not biased against Minnesota. I would like the Dallas Mavericks to go into the finals. I would like Minnesota to go into the finals. I would like to see both. It would be amazing to see both, but I just think Minnesota has the upper hand in this series because I think overall this team is just built so much better. Double big lineup, it's worked amazing this season. Karl-Anthony Towns has been awesome in certain games in the playoffs, and he's been awesome. Rudy Gobert has been, I think... Yeah, I don't know. But he's been pretty solid. I know it's hard. People are saying, oh, he can't defend Jokic. Who can defend Jokic? I mean, but he's Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to be holding it down there. Anthony Edwards is amazing. Jaden McDaniels is amazing defensively. I think he had actually a really good game last night against the Denver Nuggets. But yeah, I know this was not a super in-depth analysis of, oh, these numbers prove that. These numbers they rank this much. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there and just kind of predict. So, I think the finals will be Boston versus Minnesota. I think it's going to be Boston in 5 or 6, probably 5. That's my opinion. I would love to see it go farther, but I think Boston's just so much better. They're going to be with Kristaps coming back, this is the healthiest team that Indiana's going to be facing. It's going to be Boston in 5. And in the West, I think it's going to be Minnesota, and I want to say 6, but I think it definitely can go 7. So I'm just going to say Minnesota in 7, but I'm not giving up on Luka and the Dallas Mavericks just yet. I'm going to see, I think on Tuesday, today is Monday, so I think tomorrow, Tuesday, it's Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Boston versus Indiana, and then Wednesday, the Minnesota versus Dallas starts. So No games today. I just wanted to get this out today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.